So guys, during this week's developer live stream, we got a look at a brand new event coming with Act 3 of Heresy, that being the Rite of Nine, or Rite of the Nine, however you want to say it. This brand new event seems to be taking inspiration from events like Into the Light Update and stuff like that, where they're going to be introducing a whole new or reprised suite of weapons with some brand new origin traits and perks and stuff. All these weapons, all 12 of them, coming from past dungeons. Those dungeons being Spire of the Watcher, Ghosts of the Deep, and Prophecy. And in today's video, I wanted to just go over how these weapons could potentially be changed, take a look at their current versions, and just all that good stuff. Now, first things first, let's go over one additional bit of information that we learned during the live stream, and that is that we're also going to be receiving a brand new or reprised armor set with the Rite of the Nine event. During the live stream, we saw a hunter wearing a full set of the Trials of the Nine armor set. This was a set that was released during the Trials of the Nine event back inside of Year 1 of Destiny 2, and that armor set seems to be returning with this Rite of the Nine event. Now, DMG did go on to mention on a Twitter post that the ornamented version that came, I believe, during either Curse of Osiris or Warmind would not be returning, but if they did plan on bringing that set back, it would be PvP related. Now, moving on to the weapons here, let's first talk new specific epitaph and the Ghosts of the Deep weapons in general. So during the live stream, new Pacific Epitaph was the only weapon that we actually got a good look at, and we got a look at some of its brand new perks. Those being in the first column, Envious Arsenal and Recycled Energy, and in the second column it gained Chain Reaction and Sword Logic. So some pretty decent perks being added to this Waveframe Grenade Launcher already, and alongside that we also got a look at the brand new Origin trait that can be found on all of these weapons, that being Gravity Well, where reloading this weapon will automatically gather nearby ammo. Don't know if it's automatically gathering ammo of the ammo type for the weapon, or if it's just every kind of ammo. So if you have a primary ammo weapon and just reload that thing, maybe it can gather special and heavy as well, or maybe it will just be specifically the ammo type for that weapon. But saying that, primary weapons don't really have ammo bricks anymore, so I'm guessing it would be all types of ammo, which in that case makes this origin trait one of the best in the game just by default. But either way, some of those perks on specific epitaph look very interesting. And moving on, let's talk the two most popular weapons from the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, that being Cold Comfort and No Survivors. Now, these two are in a very interesting state because they already have pretty darn good perks on them. For Cold Comfort, for example, you already have Bait and Switch, as well as Chill Clip and Bipod there in that second column. And then for the first column, the main perk that people were looking for was Envious Assassin. Now, one thing that they could add would be Envious Arsenal. That would be a good thing to pair with Bait and Switch, and probably the only perk that would really boost this weapon generally. But that being said, that combo is already found on the newly reprised Hazen's Vengeance, but if you want a stasis version, that's probably what Cold Comfort would end up becoming. Moving on to No Survivors here, similar kind of situation. It already has Incandescent, which is one of the best solar damage perks in the game, and I can't really see them removing that or adding a new solar damage perk to replace it. So the only thing that I can see them adding would probably be like Dragonfly or Firefly, because that pairs very nicely with Incandescent. Or if they want to go explosive payload, but they don't really do that for fully automatic weapons. So yeah, don't really know what they could add here. And moving on to the final weapon for the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, we of course have Greasy Luck, which is the solar glaive that can be found from this place. Once again, already has Incandescent, and to be honest, I don't really know glaive perks all that well, so if you're more well informed on glaives and what new perks have been added to glaives since the release of the dungeon, be sure to leave those down in the comments down below and tell me what perks you would like to see added to this weapon. Now though, let's move on to the weapons that come from the Spire of the Watcher dungeon, two of which I completely forgot even existed. First off, let's go over Liminal Vigil. This is a stasis 2-round heavy burst sidearm, and it can already get Headstone, so that's a very good option, but one of the newer perks being Rhyme Stealer could be added to this weapon, making it very, very good. This current version does also come with Desperado, which does sound pretty interesting for a heavy burst sidearm. Other stasis related perks, really only Rhyme Stealer has been added, so maybe they could add some more like PvP focused perks, like maybe Lone Wolf to this thing, because that would be very, very nice. Next up, let's talk Terminus Horizon. This thing is an arc machine gun, which I literally completely forgot even existed, because the only good thing that it really has is Volt Shot and Dragonfly, and to be honest, this thing getting jolting feedback or rolling storm would be absolutely amazing, maybe even like killing tally. It does have triple tap there to like kind of refill its magazine, but then really reconstruction should probably be added to this thing if they want it to be any kind of good. So that's just my thoughts on that machine gun. Now moving on, let's talk long arm, which in my opinion got so scammed when it first released, because this thing came out, I believe, the same season that Volt Shot was added, and it was already on the Terminus Horizon machine gun, but for some reason it wasn't on this Arc Scout Rifle. So I feel like Volt Shot should be a definite on this thing, maybe even Rolling Storm. Volt Shot Rolling Storm would be very interesting to see. Also, Jolting Feedback could be interesting, but I feel that that doesn't really suit the role of a Scout Rifle, and Volt Shot or Rolling Storm would be a much better option. Pairing that with the already existing perks of Explosive Payload or Dragonfly on this thing, maybe replace Dragonfly with Firefly, stuff along that line would be very, very good to see. And then for the final weapon for this dungeon, we of course have the Wilder Flight Void Double Fire Grenade Launcher. This thing, the only void damage perk that it has is Repulsor Brace, and with the new buff that Destabilizing Rounds received, I can definitely see that perk being added to this weapon. Overall, going to be very good to see. Maybe they could also add Demoralize, but that's more precision focused, so I don't know what that would do on a grenade launcher, and maybe have that focused around double kills or something. But either way, definitely expecting to see Destabilizing Rounds being added to this weapon. And then finally, let's go and talk about the weapons that were inside of the Prophecy dungeon. Now, one thing to note is that these weapons already have a Trials of the Nine look to them, so I don't know how they would change up visually. And one other thing to note is that these weapons did actually get a more recent update, so they do have some pretty decent perks already on them. First up here for the Prosecutor, an Arc Precision Frame Auto Rifle does already have Volt Shot, so probably they would add like Rolling Storm or Jolting Feedback onto this thing. That would probably be my two wants for this weapon. First column perks though, it does already have Rewind Rounds, which is very, very good, and also Dragonfly. So overall, very good weapon, and I don't really see what else they could add, apart from either Jolting Feedback or Rolling Storm. Then alongside that, we have Relentless, which is the high impact frame Strand Pulse Rifle. This thing getting, I believe, Tear is what the new Strand perk is called. Would be very nice to see. It does have Slice already there in that first column. Maybe you could move Hatchling over to the first column as well, so then you could pair it with Tear. Would be very, very awesome. For Judgment, this is a Stasis Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon. It does already come with Headstone, so maybe Rhyme Stealer added to this thing would be amazing. Maybe also some PvP focused perks like Lone Wolf Closing Time would be a good addition as well. And then finally we have Sudden Death, which is an aggressive frame void shotgun. Not really sure what shotgun based perks were added since the release of this shotgun, but it does have the stabilizing rounds, which did get a buff. Maybe I could see it potentially getting demoralized, because it is a shotgun that is able to actually get precision hits, so maybe that could be something that they add. But with it already having Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds, going to be a very good weapon there either way. And yeah, that's everything for all 12 of the weapons getting updated within the Rite of the Nine events. Let me know in the comment section what perks you would like to see added to these specific weapons. One thing to note as well is that there will be shiny versions of these weapons that will come with double perk traits on them, so be sure to look out for those when this event goes live during Act 3 of Heresy. And yeah, that's everything for today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Also, I'll have you guys today, so I'll catch you all in the next one.